I want to congratulate Dan and Peter, Sandy, Hollis for their induction this year. It's really cool, and it's an honor for me to be in the same induction class. And I think that they can attest that you can't start fulfilling your dreams until you dream big. You need a lot of people along the way to help you out, and we've all had people help us along the way. We've all had big dreams from the start. And I remember dreaming when I was a kid, before I could even walk, about playing the game of golf. I would watch my dad hit balls in the backyard, dreaming of being able to stand up so I could hit my first shots. And he gave me a cut-down club when I finally could walk, and I would hit balls in our backyard over and over for hours on end. I would sleep with those clubs at night, and I would dream about the game of golf. That's when golf became my passion, and that's when golf became the basis for my dreams. And I was fortunate that my dad put a chipping green in our backyard where I could practice all those years. But when I got to be 8 years old, I wanted to advance up and be able to hit balls on a real range, play a real golf course. And we didn't have access at the time, but my parents did drive me down to our local course, Navajo Canyon, and allow me to get a job there when I was 8, picking the range 3 days a week so that I could have playing privileges there. And I remember one night when they were waiting to pick me up, when my competitive spirit started to come about, I would have putting matches with the other co-workers, and we would putt for a soda and a candy bar. And unfortunately, I was somewhat successful. But I went to work at Stardust Country Club shortly thereafter and worked there through high school so that I could further my practice and my play. There were some members of the PGA of America, Rick Thompson, Gary Griggs, Scott and Barry Malberg, Dean Reinmuth, who allowed me the opportunity to work there at these courses at a young age, and also helped advance my game. They would give me instruction that I needed. They would play with me. They would teach me the etiquette of the game. And it's these members, these 5 plus some others, along with the other 27,000 members of the PGA of America, that have helped grow the game, and I'm appreciative for what they've done, what they've taught me. I'm appreciative for my mom when I was starting to get a little bit better and wanting to play some junior golf tournaments so that I could hopefully get a college scholarship. She would take on a little extra jobs to come up with a little bit extra money that I could travel and compete nationally. And it was my success in those tournaments that allowed me to go to Arizona State on a scholarship, and that's where I met Steve Loy. And he's had one of the biggest impacts on my life. He's been with me through all the great moments, all the tough moments. He's been with me as a golf coach, as a friend, as a manager. We shared one of the most emotional experiences of my career, winning that Tucson Open that you saw some of the highlights there for. He was the guy on the bag. And he realized that, or felt, I guess, that after playing as well as I could and finishing better than everybody else, and the paycheck was still zero, that this wasn't what he wanted. He wanted to do something else, and became my manager. And as my manager, he helped me find the next hugely influential person in my life, which is Bones. Bones is such a great man. He's a great caddy. He's a most loyal friend. In the mid-90s, we were playing a tournament in Las Vegas, and there was an earthquake at 2 in the morning. The chandelier was swaying from side to side, hitting the ceiling. His roommate told me the next day that Bones leaped out of bed, grabbed the clubs, and ran outside. He didn't want anything to fall on him and hurt him. When Amy got diagnosed 3 years ago, he and his wife, Jen, drove overnight to be with us the next day in San Diego. When Amy went through surgery, they were there through it all. And I cannot think of a better person, a better friend to have spent the last 19 years with along this journey than Jim Bones Mackay. I tried to... I tried to show him how much I care about him in my own special way. There was the U.S. Open a few years ago, many years ago, and we were in the parking lot, and one of the fans walking through the parking lot didn't see the car, ran into the side, and kept on walking. We parked the car. I kind of got this idea. I went to the police officers that helped us out. I told him that Bones was involved in a hit and run. And they went and cuffed him on the range and pulled him aside for questioning 15 minutes before our tee time. And it was entertaining for me to watch him try to explain how he needs to go caddy and that they didn't care. This is felony hit and run. That's, I guess, my own little sick humor, but Bones and I were on the putting green at the Phoenix Open early in my career, first 6 months or so of my career. And there was a Special Olympics event going on, and there was this smoking hot girl working it. And I never really had much game off the course, but I managed to muster enough to get a date with this hottie. And from the moment Amy and I went on our first date, we've just wanted to be together. She's charismatic, she's fun, she's funny, she's always up for anything, and she's become my best friend and my wife. And I'm very fortunate and feel very fortunate to share this life's journey together. She didn't know much about golf when we first started out, and so when I was away on a tournament and I ended up missing the cut, and I called her, I was a little bit down, and I told her I'd missed the cut, and she said, well, I don't understand, what does that mean? I said, well, I'm getting on a plane, I'm going to be home this weekend, and she said, well, I like this missing the cut. A little earlier in our relationship than we probably should be doing this, but about 6 months in, I was going to go to Paris, and I thought, wow, I cannot imagine. I would just love to spend time in Paris with Amy. I couldn't think of a better person. And so I called Gary and Renee, two of my favorite people. Gary runs my foundation now, level-headed, two people I admire the most, and explained to them how this was somehow a good idea. And Gary, in his great parenting, put it on us and said, listen, you're going to have plenty of time. You're going to have plenty of time to go to Paris together. And Amy, it's your decision, but you're not going. And I have found this to be very effective in my own parenting skills. But I do want to say to him that we still have not been to Paris together. However, in 2 weeks we'll be there. Amy turns 40, and we'll have a chance to do that. As we got married and started to share our life's dreams together and start a family, it's amazing how golf has become part of our timeline of our family's development. On the video you saw where Payne Stewart made a putt on the last hole to beat me, and he grabbed my face and said, you're going to be a father. It's the greatest experience. I'm so happy for you. And the next day, we had our first child, Amanda. She'll be 13 next U.S. Open. That's how I think about it. Next month. In 2004, I won the Masters tournament, and as many of you probably saw, as I leaped just over the 3-foot barrier, that was, what? That was a great memory, but what I remember about that Masters was that blonde curly hair, the binky in her mouth, the 2-year-old Sophia waving to the camera as CBS panned out from the scorer's tent. That's my memory of the 04 Masters. She's 10 now, and we've had a lot of other great experiences. 2005 PGA at Baltusrol. I ended up on the last hole, coming to the last hole tied. I needed a birdie to win. Hit my second shot on par 5 up by the green. Hit this great chip shot out of the rough to a couple feet and made it for birdie. Some of you might remember that. What I remember is after the tournament, 35 or so New Jersey State troopers lined up like they were guarding something in London, and they were so stiff, and my son ran around high-fiving them like Hale Irwin did in the 90 U.S. Open. Don't shake your head, Evan. That's true. He's 9 now. As any career will go through highs and lows, I had a tough time in 2003. I went to Dave Pells and Rick Smith in the offseason, and I said, listen, I haven't won a major. I've been close. I know that I can get this done. I need some help. Let's get a game plan together on how we can accomplish this. And they sat down and thought about it for a month. We came together. It was time to start working, and they gave me a game plan on how to get better and how to achieve my goals. And Dave and Rick, I am very appreciative of the time we've spent together. Dave and I continue to work on it. Rick and I have continued to be great friends and business partners in course design, and their relationships I cherish. 5 years ago, I wanted to work on a couple of weaknesses in my game, and I got a chance to work with the best teacher the game's ever seen in Butch Harmon. And these last 5 years working with Butch have been awesome. I remember, though, before I met Butch, I went to his office there in Las Vegas, and he decided to take advantage of the opportunity and showed me the wall of major flags that he had, which was quite impressive from a number of players throughout the years. There were a lot of them, and he said, you know, if you can start to do this, this, and this, you might be able to get you some of those. So when we first started working together 5 years ago, I had him come over to my house, and I had lined up the 2 Masters and a PGA and said, hey, Butchie, come here. I got me some. Now let's go get some more. So, thank you. We were able to achieve a Players' Championship, a Masters Championship, and we're still working on some more. We've got a big one coming up this week as well as next month. Terry Jastro, as we saw, has been a mainstay in TV and gave me my first introduction into the media, my first introduction into television at the 91 Walker Cup in Ireland. I had a chance to spend some time with Jack Whitaker and Jim McKay, and the very next day I was able to issue my first public apology for the statements I had made the day prior. The way I see it is there are a lot of people that we are all in this together. From my management company that handles things behind the scenes, from fellow PGA Tour players, wives, and caddies, to members of the media, we are all in this together. This great game, we're all in it to promote this game, to enjoy this game, and enjoy the journey and the opportunities that it brings. I want to thank everybody for competing against me, for your friendship, for sharing this journey, for telling the stories the way the media do, for being a part of this whole journey. Again, this has been so much fun, and I love sharing this with everybody. I want to thank the fans, because the fans have made this such a fun ride. There have been a lot of highs and a lot of lows that we've shared together. There have been a lot of times where I've struggled, and it's been their energy that's helped pull me through. I've tried to reciprocate by launching drive after drive in their general direction. My mom and dad have given me every opportunity in this world to pursue and live the dream that I've always had, and I can't thank them enough for the sacrifices they've made. I can't thank my sister and brother for being genuinely supportive of my career and not competitive, for caring about my success. I am so lucky to have Amy, Amanda, Sophia, Evan, Gary, Renee, my family, to be a part of this journey, because sharing these moments with family members, those that you love, Steve Loy, Bones, and everybody I mentioned, it means and makes this so much more enjoyable and valuable. And I would just like to say that since I was a kid and first picked up my golf club, I've been living my dream. And I want to thank you for this great honor tonight. Thanks.